Burlington, Vermont. The founder of Vermont Drone, which sells drones as well, helped create the course. He says there's only one other race course, and it's in Japan. One racer says he enjoys to be able to race in a space that's not super competitive. That is so difficult.
But these are little teeny racer drones.
I think those are even harder to keep control of. Like little toy ones you get for Christmas.
Yeah, big Sky 3 lumbering through there and
yeah.
knocking everything over.
We should have tried it.
All right, well, you know, it's good pastime. That's our time. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye on the weather. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, wildfires continue to burn out west. How brave men and women from Wisconsin are helping battle the fires.
Plus, how a new program at a local college is looking to help give students a second chance at education.
And the Green Bay Packers officially take the field tonight in preseason action. We'll have a live report from Lambeau Field.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. First responders are a report of a possible tornado in Deerfield.
A spokeswoman with the Dane County Sheriff's Department says it happened around 3:55 this afternoon on Main Street in Deerfield. The Deerfield Fire Department says the International Machinery Exchange building has collapsed. Fire officials say there was a gas leak, but the gas is now shut off. This is a developing story, and we're continuing to follow it. We'll have more at 6 and always online at channel3000.com. But let's get an update on the forecast now with Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Gary?
Susan, we've been watching some strong thunderstorms move across southern Wisconsin. That storm that moved over Deerfield, you can see just how quickly it spun up. This is the radar velocity just around 3:45 this afternoon, showing a broad area of rotation just to the north and west of Deerfield. Straight line winds would be the main threat coming into Deerfield, but you can see at about 3:46, notice that little tightening where the reds and the greens come together. That's a quick wind circulation that may have been a brief tornado touchdown, and by 3:50, it's pretty much gone. So it remains to be seen whether it was a brief tornado touchdown or strong straight line winds in that area that contributed to the damage report. Still have a line of showers and thunderstorms that extends from Grant County through the southern portion of Dane County and then out toward Fort Atkinson. These storms are moving toward the southeast, and the areas north of Madison have probably seen most of the rain end. In fact, you can look at future Doppler track over the next 3 hours, and those storms will be heading down into northern Illinois. Temperatures this morning started out in the upper 60s to lower 70s. High temperatures today made it to the mid-80s here in Madison, around 90 in our western viewing area, but you can certainly see where the rain came through. Those temperatures have cooled off into the lower 70s, whereas areas up to the north that didn't see the rain, they're still seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Dew point temperatures are around 70 here, but those dew points are starting to drop off to the north, so the air is becoming less humid. Tomorrow, after the showers and thunderstorms then, look for partly sunny skies and a high of 82, but the humidity levels will be down. It'll feel a little more comfortable. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Gary. Fire officials in California continue to fight dozens of fires across the state.
Right now, more than 13,000 firefighters are on the front lines of California's historic wildfire season that has claimed the lives of 8 people statewide. In Southern California, the Holy Fire doubled in size overnight. About 20,000 people are already under mandatory evacuation orders. Meanwhile, in Northern California, the Mendocino Complex fire, the largest in state history, has destroyed more than 100 homes, and officials don't expect to bring it fully under control until the end of the month. 2
Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources officials are in California fighting the fires there.
And many more were dispatched across the West to help. Our Keely Arthur spoke with one this afternoon via video chat in Washington. Keely joins us now.
It's important to remember that these fires are not contained to California. I spoke with the DNR's fire prevention specialist of Minocqua. She's out in Washington right now. The Wisconsin DNR has dispatched employees to 38 fires this summer alone, and they say that's the new normal.
Thankfully, the fire danger is relatively low in Wisconsin, but that's not the case here in the Pacific Northwest. It's very active.
Which is why Catherine Coley, the wildfire prevention specialist for our state, is in Washington fighting the Angel Springs wildfire there.
So we've got really low humidity, increased winds, really dry fuels. So today and tomorrow are pretty critical for us here.
So far, Angel Springs has scorched 5,000 acres, threatening 160 structures. Coley is part of a group of 600 tackling this specific fire, but 37 other employees from the Wisconsin DNR are in Oregon, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Washington, and even parts of Canada.
When we get a call, we have a pretty short period of time to respond. We get our orders, and then we all have a rally point wherever we're assigned. So it's a pretty fast-paced business.
It's also an opportunity to get incredible hands-on training.
It provides a great training and experience to bring back to Wisconsin in case we have any incidents back at home. And our primary fire season is in the spring, shortly after that snow cover disappears until things green up. So the timing is great.
And while it's the West that needs help from the Badger State right now, Coley says you never know when you might need that favor returned.
We do have these agreements in place, and if something were to happen, I know we have those relationships built that they would be there for us as well.
Now, most of those DNR workers spend about 2 weeks on assignment before coming back home, and this is no cost to the state at all, of course, gets reimbursed.
They're heroes.
They absolutely are. Hard work.
Yes.
Keely, thank you.
Thank you, Keely. A child that was hit by a car in a Wisconsin Dells hotel parking lot has died. The Lake Delton Police Department says the child was a 3-year-old girl from Illinois. Police say it happened in the parking lot of Hotel Rome along the Wisconsin Dells Parkway around 4:30 Tuesday evening. Officers received a call about a child who had been hit by a car. Lake Delton Police and the Wisconsin State Patrol are investigating, but say they do not believe alcohol was a factor. Well, what do you do when high school doesn't work out for you? A lot of students drop out and lose confidence in themselves, but one program is seeking to help them find their way back.
It's a nationwide program, but not every school has it. Madison College's Portage campus is offering its first classes this fall. Jamie Perez joins us with details on how students can reinvent themselves with a second chance. Jamie?
Well, this program is a true example of how a little support can go a long way. Students who aren't doing so well academically, don't feel supported, or are having some mental health problems that set them back in school. These are all reasons why this program was created. Even students who drop out of school and don't really have a sense of direction, this program will let them finish high school by earning college credits. The people who spearheaded this program at Madison College say it's so important for every student to get a good education for a more promising future.
Typically start to have the confidence to be able to own their future. And every student has a different story, but they've figured out how to navigate through those challenges.
She added that the students who do drop out and want to go back to school, maybe 18 or 19 years old, of course, they don't want to go back to high school with those who are 15 or 16, so this program helps them get back on track. And she mentioned that every student has a story. Well, I spoke with a student who just finished her first semester in the program. Hear the story of her life-changing experience. I'll have that for you coming up tonight at 6.
We will see you then. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Supporters of stronger gun control laws put hundreds of pairs of shoes on the steps of the state capitol today. The display from the Wisconsin anti-violence effort was at the State Street side of the Capitol. The display featured 664 pairs of empty shoes representing the 664 Wisconsinites killed by a gun over the last year.
On February 14th, I was in room 1214, which was the third classroom the shooter shot into, where we lost Nicholas Dorat and Helena Ramsey. Nicholas Dorat saved my life. I also lost my uncle 15 years ago to gun violence in Brooklyn. My truth empowers me to continue fighting for all communities impacted by gun violence.
The group says after the memorial, the shoes will be donated to local women's shelters. A gun rights activist group is holding a rally this weekend in support of Second Amendment rights. That goes from noon to 3 on Saturday, also on the State Street side of the Capitol. Organizers say the event will support the right to bear arms and free speech.
In just under 2 hours, the green and gold will take the field against the Tennessee Titans.
RJ Wilson is live from Lambeau Field with a look at the preseason matchup. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Susan and Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, the Packers had their first dress rehearsal of the 2018 season last Saturday for their annual family night. Tonight, it's going to look and feel a little bit more like the real thing as the Packers host the Tennessee Titans with kickoff just after 7 o'clock tonight. Now, Aaron Rodgers sitting this one out. We're going to see a steady dose of the backup quarterbacks, Brett Hundley and Deshaun Kaiser. They'll be competing to be Rogers' backup all summer, but there are plenty of other guys who are fighting for jobs at other positions too, with their first chance to shine in a game situation tonight against the Titans. Head coach Mike McCarthy says he'll be watching closely. He knows practice is one thing, playing a game, any game, is another.
You wish it wasn't so, but it affects the way people behave. It's a different environment. I mean, where the quarterback decisions exactly what you want, there was a footwork exactly what you want across the board at every position. It's different playing in that environment. It's just a whole different energy out there. It's an incredible training environment. So, and plus we got new lights too. I don't know if you noticed. So we got new lights out there. It's a lot brighter.
But after that, he expects a new workout. One thing to watch for tonight, even though Aaron Rodgers won't be playing, three former Badgers should see some snaps this evening. For the Packers, linebacker Vince Beagle and defensive lineman Connor Sheehy are on the roster. And for the Tennessee Titans, former Badger offensive lineman Tyler Merritz will make an appearance or two. Beautiful weather, 84 degrees, a little breeze. Should be a fun night. Packers and Titans at 7 o'clock. Now let's go back to Susan and Mark in Madison.
All right, I can't wait to see the new lights.
Me too.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. People living in Verona could soon see images of purple angels in businesses around the city. That indicates to people that the business is dementia friendly. Verona Family Dental is one of the more than 15 businesses that has been trained to better serve people living with memory loss. The dementia friendly Verona Task Force is working to nearly double that number by adding at last count 12 more businesses to the list by the end of the year. They're training the businesses to recognize when a person may be living with memory loss and how to help them. Dentists and dental hygienists at Verona Family Dental are trained to treat all patients with plenty of understanding.
Sounds that they're not familiar with, smells that they're not familiar with, people they're not familiar with. When we come out to the lobby to get somebody and we lead them back to the procedure rooms or to their hygiene rooms, sometimes that can be a little confusing.
The task force in Verona is one of 14 in Dane County that is working with the county's Aging and Disability Resource Center.
Well, there's more to come on News 3 at 5. Coming up, Puerto Rico government officials have confirmed the death toll for Hurricane Maria is more than what was initially reported.
And Vice President Mike Pence has announced a new outline to create the 6th branch of the military when the Trump administration hopes Space Force will be up and running.
And on Wall Street, a mixed day. The Dow Industrial is down. However, the NASDAQ was up 3.5 points for a record-setting close. The S&P 500 lost 4. We'll be right back.
Prosecutors have revealed new information about a remote New Mexico compound where children allegedly were found with no clean food, water, or electricity.
The 2 men and 3 women facing child abuse charges appeared in a New Mexico court yesterday for the first time. According to court documents, authorities found 11 children. They'd been searching for one of the suspects who is accused of kidnapping his then 3-year-old son, Abdul. Investigators found the remains of a young boy at the compound but have not confirmed if it is Abdul. Authorities also found loaded firearms. Prosecutors say one of the children told their foster parent they were trained, quote, in the use of an assault rifle in preparation for future school shootings.
Nearly a year after a hurricane devastated Puerto Rico, government officials confirmed the death toll is more than what was initially reported, nearly 20 times more. Puerto Rican officials acknowledged more than 1,400 people likely died in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, a significant increase from the official death toll of 64. The figures come from death registry statistics that were released in June, but never publicly acknowledged by officials on the island.
The criminal trial for President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, entered its 8th day today. He is facing bank and tax fraud charges. Court got off to a dramatic start today when the judge overseeing the case had to apologize to special counsel prosecutors. Yesterday, Judge Ellis reprimanded prosecutors for allowing a witness to remain in the courtroom while other witnesses testified. Today, he apologized for that. The special counsel's office is nearing the end of its case against the former campaign chair. Prosecutors have a few more witnesses to question and expect to wrap up tomorrow.
The White House announced new sanctions against Russia, which could block Russia from purchasing potentially hundreds of millions of dollars of weapons, electronics, and avionics. The move is in response to Russia poisoning former spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia, who now live in England. U.S. and British intelligence agencies say Russia deployed a nerve agent in the attempted murder. Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesman called the sanctions illegal and again denied that Russia had anything to do with the attack on the spy.
Vice President Mike Pence has announced a new outline to create the U.S. Space Force. There we go, by the year 2020. The proposed new branch of the military would protect U.S. interests in space, including a $250 million GPS satellite integral to the way the military fights and how Americans live. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, who had previously opposed a new branch of the military, released a 15-page report detailing how the Space Force would be structured. The vice president says the Trump administration is working to build bipartisan support for the plan.
Our adversaries have transformed space into a warfighting domain already, and the United States will not shrink from this challenge.
Opponents of the proposed Space Force say there is no need for more bureaucracy for work members of the Air Force are already doing.
Let's head out to the weather patio now for an update on the weather. Things calming down outside, Gary?
In some areas, yes. In some areas, no. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern portion of Rock County until 5:45. Let's take a look at that on Doppler track. You can see on high-resolution Doppler radar, severe thunderstorm right around the Janesville area, moving toward the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Main threat from this thunderstorm is going to be hail up to the size of about quarters, maybe some strong gusty winds in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range as that storm tracks through the eastern and southeastern portions of Rock County over the next half hour or so. To the west, you can see some more scattered showers and thunderstorms from southwestern Dane County through the northern portion of Grant County. These are all heading toward the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Areas north of Madison probably have seen the rain over with, if they even had any at all. These storms kind of blew up just to the north of Madison, and now we'll be tracking into northern Illinois. In fact, future Doppler track over the next 3 hours takes most of the activity out of Wisconsin by sometime early this evening. So look at the time lapse in the WISC sky cam. You can see these heavier showers moving on through and then some breaks in between them. The next shower not too far out to the west of us. And as we check the live view from the WISC sky cam, you can see looks like a heavier shower just to the south and west of the station. Live view from the Queen Bee radio sky cam in Platteville. This is looking off toward the east, showing some thicker clouds to the north, and the Edgewater sky cam in downtown Madison showing lots of clouds but not much in the way of precipitation. As we check out the almanac, the high temperature hit 86 degrees, the low temperature of 71 61 is actually the current temperature now. We've cooled off because of the showers and thunderstorms that have moved through, but the rain has ended at the airport. Winds are out of the east at 3 miles per hour. The dew point temperature, though, still pretty high at 69 degrees. Temperatures are coolest right over south central Wisconsin where the rain has come through, but even to the north of Madison where there was little or no rain, temperatures are still in the lower to middle 80s through much of central Wisconsin. To our south, temperatures are in the 90s across parts of northern Illinois. But there definitely is a shift in the winds. Notice they're from the southwest across southeastern Wisconsin, now have shifted to the north and northeast across much of the rest of the state, and that will start bringing in drier air. Dew point temperatures still in the upper 60s to lower 70s here in the southern part of the state, but notice up north those dew points start to drop into the upper 50s by the time you get to Superior, and generally in the 50s in northern Minnesota. So the northwesterly winds aloft will start bringing down some of that drier air, but having sunshine returning for tomorrow means the temperatures will still be pretty warm. Most of the heavier showers and thunderstorms are in the southern part of the United States where the atmosphere is a little bit more humid. Weak bubble of high pressure in western Minnesota will start to move down and clear out our skies for tomorrow. Temperatures are still in the 80s to our north and west, even behind the cold front, and farther out to the west on the other side of the front, temperatures are mainly in the 90s. Dew point temperatures, though, like I say, fall off to our north and to our west, so the air is noticeably drier. And on future track, once those showers and storms move out of here this evening, look for partly cloudy skies overnight. Tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies, highs in the lower 80s, and then we can see plenty of sunshine for the weekend with high temperatures in the middle 80s. So our forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorms ending this evening, and then turning partly cloudy with patchy fog overnight, low dropping to 62. For tomorrow, look for partly sunny skies. It'll be warm, but less humid with a high temperature of 82. As we check out future track, you can see the showers and storms moving on out this evening. Look for partly cloudy skies overnight with low temperatures in the lower 60s. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies. Taking the rain out of the forecast, it's possible there might be an isolated shower in 1 or 2 spots. High temperatures in the lower 80s. For tomorrow night, though, we'll clear out and allow temperatures to drop into the lower 60s. And then on Saturday, we'll see bright sunshine and temperatures up in the middle 80s. In fact, if you take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures remain in the middle to upper 80s into early next week. There'll be a little more humidity toward the middle of next week, leading to a chance for some showers and thunderstorms from Tuesday night into Wednesday. Maybe a brief drop in the temperatures toward the end of next week, a brief rise on Friday, and then some nice weather toward the end of next weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic, well, because of the rain, things pretty slow on the Beltline. That's slowing traffic down. Even though the rain has ended, there's the live view from the DOT camera at Park Street. You can see delays beginning around Monona Drive and going back to almost to Whitney Way. So a 36-minute commute now on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 23 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, some big delays now heading down toward Janesville on I-3990, a 47-minute commute from the Beltline, 24 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12, and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, keep an eye on things for the next couple of hours out there. Thank you, Gary. We'll be right back. Children are enjoying the last few weeks of summer, and that means families need to take extra care about pool safety.
This year, parents who have suffered a loss are speaking out to warn others about the dangers of drowning. Hannah Doba has the story.
These parents lost their twin toddlers in a babysitter's pool last month in Tennessee.
It was the worst day that I will ever have in my life.
Weeks earlier, Olympic skier Bodie Miller lost his baby daughter. 19-month-old Emmy drowned in a neighbor's pool. Nicole Hughes' 3-year-old son Levi drowned on the same day at a hotel in Alabama.
We got down there so fast. I mean, I was sprinting down the stairs. Someone jumped in the water. He was out. They started CPR.
According to the CDC, drowning is the #1 cause of accidental death for children ages 1 to 4. Last summer alone, 112 kids under 5 died in swimming pools. Josh Lockwood is with the American Red Cross and says a child near a pool needs constant supervision.
You also want a fence around all 4 sides of the pool, and that should be 4 feet tall. And that pool fence should have a self-latching door so that a child can't just wander in and open it up themselves.
He says ladders or steps should be child-proofed and recommends a pool alarm, which sends an alert when someone enters the water.
It's becoming more and more common. It's a great idea.
And he suggests starting swimming lessons early.
Every person going in the water should be able to jump in of their own accord, resurface, be able to turn around in a full circle, be able to tread water for a minute.
Lockwood says with each tragedy, the only silver lining is the opportunity to remind parents of the pool guidelines. That could make the difference between life and death. Hannah Doba, CBS News, New York.
The American Red Cross also recommends that children wear Coast Guard approved life jackets.
We'll have another check of the weather when we come back. Some strong storms popped up this afternoon.
Yeah, right in the Deerfield area, had some reports of damage. This is sent in some of the damage in downtown Deerfield. Kind of hard to make out there because it looked like it was raining, but looks like a business was damaged there by strong winds. Could have been a possible tornado. National Weather Service is going to do an investigation to see whether or not a tornado actually touched down there. But as we take a look at radar, you can see some strong storms in Rock County. That severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled early, but storms continue to move southward through the southern tier of counties south of Madison. That'll be the case for the next hour or so.
We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you back here tonight at 6.